Hi everybody, welcome back to one other exciting video. Now today we are going to talk about one major dispute going on in the northeast region of India, that is the ANPO or Eastern Nagaland People's Organization problem that they want a new state separated from the current Nagaland. As we know that it's more than 75 years of Indian independence, and we say that when India is a democratic sovereign social secular republic, we know that it's the responsibility of government to provide us the justice, equality, liberty and fraternity. And this is not told by us, this is written and given to us by the Constitution of India. But still, even after more than the 75 years of independence, not each part of India has achieved this up to its full potential. And that is one of this reason of Eastern Nagaland. And this video is for all of you to know what's issue going on in the eastern part of India, because recently we have seen multiple riots in Manipur and definitely the situation was very scary. We do not want that same kind of things ever again came back in our history or in future. So let's try to understand their problems so that their things also reach to the ear of our government and they can provide a resolution much faster, since they have already waiting it for more than a decade now. So let's go a few years back before independence, before 1947. So Eastern Nagaland was part of India, not exactly at the time India was constructed, but under British Raj it was part of NEFA, that is North Eastern Frontier Alliance. Now that region even was never administered by Britishers also, because headhunting and those kind of things were very common in that area. And the peoples which live there were known as free Nagas, and no one ever controlled them because of the shifting cultivation and their culture. But after the independence of India, when Republic of India formed in 1957, government what did? They merged the Naga Hills part of Assam and the Tuensang district of this NEFA into one region that is known as Naga Hills Tuensang area. And it was 1963 when, after signing major treaties with the most of the tribes of the Nagaland and that Naga Hills Tuensang area part, finally the Nagaland emerged as a state of Indian Republic. But seeing the critical condition of the eastern part of Nagaland, since whatever the tribes lived there was much more backward compared to other parts of Nagaland, a special provision was made for that part. And they were kept under the Article 371A of Indian Constitution that for 10 years they will be a special provision and no one from outside will be allowed to enter there without the permission of the authorities, because they were at a verge of exploitation. They do not have a proper money resources, they were very poor and anyone can exploit them. So to protect their culture and indigenous nature, it was done. But finally, after 10 years in 1973, this provision was taken back after the discussion with the major leaders of that major 7 tribes of the Eastern Nagaland. And finally, it became a part of Nagaland officially without any special provisions. So 20 MLAs were assigned to them for the elections, and from here the dispute is started. Actually, if you see the area wise, this part, that eastern part of Nagaland, actually holds almost 50% of the area of complete Nagaland. And if you talk from the population point of view now, it consists of almost more than 40% of population. And as we know that legislative seats are defined on the population basis, and definitely they deserve more than 20 seats of representation in the assembly or parliament, which never happened. Now because of these reasons only, they started arguing that because we do not have a proper representation in assembly, our voice are getting suppressed. If you talk about stats also, whatever major project came in the recent years or past years, the development projects such as the major colleges or major airports and railway station and those things, those all were built in the western part of Nagaland, and not a single point of development happened in the eastern part. Now it was the fault of government, because when treaty was signed in 1963 of the formation of Nagaland state, it was pre-decided that it will be the responsibility of governor according to the Article Constitution 371A clause 2B, that he will be responsible or she will be responsible to equally distribute whatever money will come from center to both the part from as Naga Hills as well as Tuensang district. But this never happened. And if it has happened, then who is the main culprit for non-development of that eastern part? So that's where the issue started. So finally in 1997, the major tribes of the 6th district of that Eastern Nagaland formed an organization known as ANPO, or Eastern Nagaland People's Organization. And sole aim for this ANPO was to raise the voice of Eastern Nagas people so that their exploitation should be reduced and they will also get the equal opportunity for development and growth. And in 2010, they went to the Home Minister of India, P. Chidambaram, proposing a formation of new state from the current Nagaland state, that is Frontier Nagaland. But the P. Chidambaram denied and proposed a new change that a regional council should be formed for this Eastern Nagaland, who will be responsible for taking decisions for this eastern part. But the issue was that they didn't told that this council will be independent from the state authority. So the ANPOs declined on the basis that this has already done previously and it was not effective at all for us. And we want to make a complete autonomous state with a separate parliament and other facilities, which the government declined. And on the one side, if you see, government is also correct, because what happened in Nagaland and northeastern part, there are multiple insurgencies and militancies is already happening. If you see the history, especially in Nagaland only, there is NSCN or Nationalist Socialist Council of Nagaland, or NNPG. These are two militant groups active in Nagaland. Now government is trying since long, even after the formation of Nagaland only, to sign multiple peace accords with them so that peace can be brought to the state. And what they want also, they also want a complete autonomous state only for Nagas with a separate flag, but they were doing it violently. So government thought that if we give a separate state now to them, they will tell that why we can't get the same thing. And this can be a major reason why government declined this thing. But the problem is, it is the issue of government only, that they are not able to create the level of satisfaction in the people, or not able to allocate proper funds to them. And why investigation never happened? If constitutionally they have right to get the equal amount of funding from the center, then where all those funding which went to Nagaland goes? So this is a very important question, and it's point to ask from the governor also. Now, if you see the previous things, whatever happened in 2023, the assembly election happened in Nagaland state, and BJP promised to these people that if they come into power, they will definitely resolve the ANPO. As we all know, in the last few years, definitely in the northeastern states, a lot of development has happened. So these people also made vote to the NDA, and now the NDA alliance is the power in the Nagaland. But still they proposed a resolution that if the government will not solve this issue till December 2023, they will not do voting in 2024 elections. And that's what happening this year. The 6th district of Nagaland has voted 0% vote. Not a single person has went to vote. They have completely lost faith in the democracy. So the answer is pretty simple. It's not always that making a separate state will fix the issue, but the point of concern is why development is not happening in those areas. I read the stats, yes, the most of the major hydroelectricity power plants and those things are getting built in the area. But if those things are also happening, why the resources or money is not getting in the pockets of the Eastern Nagas people? Because if you see the per capita income also, the what is stated on the Nagaland Tribune, the per person per capita for Eastern Nagaland is 5,000, while for the rest of the Nagaland is 16,000. That is almost 1/3. And most of the Eastern Naga people are now going towards the Western Nagaland for the major cities for the earning and leaving their home for a better future and scope, which is definitely not a good thing. Because if we see the strategic location of Eastern Nagaland, it touches the major Myanmar border. It is on the border with Myanmar only, and definitely this India strategically it very significant, because the scheme or policies of India, if you see, there was a policy that promoting the northeastern states, because India want to make a good relation with the Asian countries, that southeastern Asian countries, because of that power of China is spreading everywhere. So these Eastern Nagaland areas play a very significant role, and I think that definitely government will also take these things into the consideration, because whole northeast is both strategically, economically as well as culturally very rich, and we should respect the emotions of Nagas as well as Eastern Nagas people, that whatever they're demanding we should try to resolve. Even if the formation of a state is not possible, they should make definitely a small assembly or whatever thing a government is thinking is right for them. or however the development reached to them, because the most of the important thing is they didn't want a separate state. They want a state only because they want development in their area. They didn't want that their children leave their home places. They just want to see a good transportation, a good infrastructure which government can provide to them. So hope you like the video and do follow me for more such exciting video. Till then, bye bye. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.